up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody? Man, the chat is already blowing up. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been 2 weeks, but wow, what a welcome.
Yeah, but look, Vince says he forgot about there being no show last week because we're just prominent
consistent
in your lives. Yeah, we're all you think about. We're like,
well,
what are the Speaker Box boys up to?
What do we get up to next? But if you don't know what this is the Drive-In Speaker Box. Thanks for tuning in. We are your source for all things movies, and movies. I'm your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I am Slick Dougie, the Grip.
And, man, yeah, thanks for your apology for the resub over there on Twitch. If you guys are listening to the audio version of this podcast, wherever it is you download your podcast, there is a live stream. That's where we record all this. It's right off the top of our domes. It's live. It's interactive. You can get on the chat right here with all these people. Shout-outs to Furious Apology over on Twitch. We got Vince on Twitch. We got Adam over on YouTube. We got Dina on YouTube. We got Sam over on Facebook already in the chat. Thanks for joining us this week. We have missed you guys. I just got back from Nolens, Louisiana.
Nolens. I thought you were only going for like 2 days, and it seemed like you were gone. You were there for
5. I was there for 5 days. I was there for Tales of the Cocktail. But I actually got to, I did some movie-related stuff because I know some people that are in the film industry down there, and
visited some vampire film sites.
Well, the new season of Interview with a Vampire is being shot down in the French Quarter. So I walked around, and it's real easy to pick out like what was a set. You're like, yeah, that was a set. You can just smell them if you've been in the biz. But it was it's just
that's the most Hollywood thing I've ever heard.
It's all empty water bottles and it's just and like crumbs of Nature Valley green granola bars. Like that's all that's left over on a film set. For those of you that worked on a set, you'll be probably laughing right now. 12-month sub. Thanks over there, Furious. That is badass. 12 months. Wow. That's a whole year, I think. If we follow the Roman calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar, is that what that's 12 whole months.
Sam wants a Jake's Takes. We need to do that. I need to become more technically savvy, I guess, and get my own
we need
key to the studio or whatever.
You just come up in here and turn all this stuff on, pull some focus, tune your lighting in, and hit go. Yeah,
I'll just watch a bunch of Joe Rogan and the dude that who's that one guy from the dude that yelled a lot and he got sued for saying Sandy Hook was a thing.
There's angry. So many of those guys on the internet, and he's probably bald.
Yeah. I'll just watch a lot of those guys, and I'll be in here like ancient aliens. It's like the whole thing about.
You need like a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, me in movies. Like the time when I was a teenager and we watched Donnie Darko, and there was like 12 of us that were gifted and talented advanced students, and we were like sitting there taking notes and comparing with each other how the time travel of Donnie Darko worked.
Oh man, that movie.
It was actually a lot of fun.
Just for fledgling nerds everywhere.
There were a lot of nerds in that room. And one cool boy.
Yes, just the one lonely cool boy.
It was always a tough time, man.
But we need to get you set up on that because we can create more content. They get enough of me. Nobody wants more of this guy. But they're always asking for the Jake. But anyway, Vince says he watched Donnie Darko for the first time last week. It was pretty good. Throwing a Furious Policy, throwing some weeb emotes out there.
On Vince's comment, I've heard of Jake's Tapes and the foreign films.
That's right. I'm gonna teach you how to make emojis too. It's gonna be like a 1980s kung fu training montage. You're gonna be doing splits between two chairs, and you're gonna be like on Photoshop and and editing audio and all that fun stuff.
Like Jean-Claude Van Damme in
in every movie he's in,
but he
like
does
with
the
the splits.
and he rips that tree in half. But it'll be me and like the keyboard.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But anyway, we've got movies to talk about. Last week, I went and saw Nope. I didn't get a chance to talk about with that movie with you guys, so we're going to be talking about that later in the program. I also caught up on Minions: Rise of Gru. I went to the theater and watched that one because I just hadn't sat in a theater for a minute. And I was like, well, I got to do this. So went and saw that, and we're going to be talking about that later in the show. Did not get a chance to see Gray Man yet. I haven't caught up on my Netflix. I was busy in New Orleans doing New Orleans things, but that's going to be on my list to talk about with you guys next week. So Dina asks, did I wear a suit to New Orleans? No, I did not. That was pretty harsh humidity. It ain't the heat, dude. It's the humidity that gets you down there. I did hit up a lot of iconic New Orleans places and ate a lot of food and drank a lot of cocktails, and it was a good time to be had.
That sounds like a really good time.
She's asked for Gru. No, of course.
I unfortunately did not get to watch a film, and I apologize, everybody. Some of you, Vince, may know that I like to drive two-door, super fast, real cool, low to the ground, hot boy cars, and that comes with a price sometimes. I was on the way to pick up my girlfriend, fiance, my lady, a few towns away. I was driving on the highway, and all of a sudden, I was like, my car is weird. And the temp gauge was all the way, blew my head gaskets because Subaru. And I had to spend this weekend putting it all back together so that I could have a vehicle to drive, because where we live, there isn't really public transportation. Ubers are too expensive, especially with gas, and we need cars. So I lived fast and furious.
And then you just ended up furious.
And initial D, yeah, because I was doing like the Paul Walker Bunta thing of having the GC8 Subaru real cool boy thing. So I missed out on movies, and I'm sorry. But I will be here to be color commentary.
Speaking of some of my favorite cool boy things, the 35th anniversary of The Lost Boys was this week.
More vampire things.
I didn't. My shirt, I still believe shirt was dirty. Otherwise, I would have worn it. Yeah, I wore it a couple of weeks ago, but I still haven't done laundry. So been on vacation, guys. Yeah. A lot of fun watchings and screenings and celebrations, and I'm sure Tim Capello's getting booked for a lot of conferences because that's what he does now. He goes around and walks in, is like, meh, meh, meh.
I hope that's all he does.
He
just walks in, rips off his shirt, throws on an alto saxophone, and he goes, "I still believe."
That's literally his life.
And then he walks away. Like, that's the whole thing. It's a 5-second segment.
Through the years, to the fire, to the tears, I want to believe.
Yeah, it's all that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I hope that he doesn't do a whole segment. I hope that he just walks in, rips off his shirt, flexes, and goes, wee, wee, wee.
He's a little old. He's still beefed up, though. He's still Google him. He's easy. I think he's probably on Cameo. We should get like a Tim Capello Cameo. Yes. It's like for all these B-list actors that are just like, I could use $200 in 5 minutes. Here we go.
There's some pretty famous people on Cameo.
Yeah, because everybody could use $200 in 5 minutes.
That's true.
Like,
let's hit that level.
Let's
of fame
be on Cameo. I mean, there's a lot of nobodies out there. Maybe somebody will just think that we'll like put the price tag down low to where like someone's grandma is buying someone a gift on Cameo. They go, "Oh, these guys are affordable and they must be famous." And we're just like, "Hey, happy birthday, whatever." And we make $50.
Yeah,
$50 is $50, dude.
Jeez, grandma, these dudes suck. But then he shows all his friends, and his friends are like, "These guys are rad.
These guys are rad. We should like and subscribe to the Drive-In Speaker Box."
You guys see.
So anyway, 35th anniversary of Lost Boys. That's pretty cool. Stuff in the news. More 80s stuff coming back to life, resurrecting like vampires. I don't know if you heard about this, but Max Headroom reboot in the works. The co-creator of *Halt and Catch Fire*, Christopher Cantwell, is supposed to act and be a showrunner, along with Elijah Wood is signed on to attach somehow. But if you don't know Max Headroom is like this very strange character that emerged in the 80s, played by this guy named Matt Frewer. He's, you've seen him in a lot of stuff. He was in a lot of Star Trek. He's kind of a character actor, and he was Max Headroom. And for a lot of Americans, they didn't really come to understand Max Headroom until, he became the voice of a new Coke, and, is trying to sell Coke and stuff to the Coke generation. But he got to start in a UK, like he was a VJ in the UK doing music videos, and then there was like a weird spin-off show that was trying to give him a backstory. I watched a little bit of it. It's kind of hard to watch. It's kind of this dystopian future show where this scientist, and it's been a long time since I've watched it. But I think now more than ever, like having a sentient AI character seems more relevant than it ever has. And I think it would be really cool bringing him back because he's still around, and with the power of technology, he doesn't have to wear all that makeup to make him look like he's computer generated. They could just put all that anti-aging, deep fakey bullshit on his face like they do everyone else, and it would look just well. And that's the point. It's supposed to look artificial. Oh, okay. And
same makeup is always better in cinema, I think.
But he's supposed to look like he's computer generated, and it's supposed to look fake and not human. But I think it could be cool. I mean, I am getting a little worn out on some of these bad deep fakes, particularly like what they do in the shadows, or what we do in the shadows this new season.
I haven't watched the last episode. I forgot to watch the last episode, but I did watch Orville.
The last Orville episode was so sick.
Bruh.
Ooh, I don't know if you've been caught up on Orville, but this show I feel like it's going to stick the landing.
That is one thing.
With this season.
I got to watch before I had to just wrench on my car all week.
Even Vince was like, okay, it was good. Like the past couple episodes have been bangers.
This season, it started out being amazing, and then there was a couple episodes where it's like rehash episodes. Remember when we did this? Look at it. Because Disney owns Hulu, and it's owned by Hulu now, and Disney does nothing but like, remember when we did that? Look at Star Wars. They're like, remember episode 4? Here it is again, but with a girl. Crazy.
Yep. But bringing it back,
But
like
they came back around and they were like, look at just original stories, and they built off of their rehashes, which is really good.
Yes, it is the hallmark of good writing, and
all the Kalon stuff has been so good.
And Vince just throws something out in the comments that I actually agree with. He says, "Can I say I hate the guitar playing and singing and constant worried looks between Seth and Friday Night Lights?" Yes.
Okay, so,
like,
but the thing on that is,
I hate
that's
guitar
every
shit.
Next Generation holodeck episode ever, because they go somewhere and they sit in like the cabin with the guitars or whatever. Like that's like a sci-fi thing where they try and anchor it in the time that with something that you're familiar with. So like, look at these people playing 2020 music, aren't they? Like, that's in the past.
Yeah, but and the holodeck episodes always had the songs and stuff, but I just like, could we cut some of that? I don't like musicals enough as it is, but when you hear, like, if it just like catches the tail end of like Data doing a symphony, or what's Robert Picardo's The Doctor doing the tail end of an opera, but not like sitting and watching a whole freaking like campfire song, like that was a little annoying.
Yeah, well, you don't watch the whole thing, you come in halfway, but
no, when they were sitting in the cabin, they like literally play the whole freaking song, and they're like, "Oh, that was so great."
Robert Picardo opera as the Doctor is so good.
It is pretty good. I mean, Robert Picardo is pretty good. But speaking of Star Trek, Uhura died this week.
Oh yeah, Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah, 89. Lieutenant Uhura
just yesterday.
Just yesterday. She apparently worked for NASA for a short period of time. She's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame now. Nichelle
Nichols was like a big advocate, and she had a lot of pull because people love Star Trek. And they were like, what was that? The movie like Selma or whatever? Not Selma. That was the one with MLK. The one that came out at the same time about the NASA stuff. What was it called?
Where they were the math ladies.
Yes. Yeah. Those people, things like that. Nichelle Nichols is part of why things like that could happen, is because she was on TV. She was a figure. People love Star Trek. She was intelligent because she knew like every language. Thank you. Yeah, Vince, Hidden Figures. Okay. But, Uhura was like the coolest. And she didn't take shit from nobody, and she would fight back and all this stuff. She did like fan dances and all these things. But Uhura is super badass, and Nichelle Nichols would go up to people and she's like, Star Trek, motherfucker. And they'd be like, oh, have it your way. Star Trek is the best.
So pouring one out to Nichelle Nichols. 89, made it a long time. And a lot of contributions with her career that weren't necessarily like, I'm a big blockbuster actress, but like real cool, impactful things.
What do you mean not a big blockbuster actress? I'm talking Star Trek, the motion picture, through Star Trek 6.
That's all Star Trek. I'm just saying she had an impact outside of her Hollywood career, which was, more than a lot of celebrities can say. It's like, oh, yeah, I have a water brand now. Like, oh, yay. What do you want, a trophy?
Yeah, but you ever see Star Trek 4 where they go back in time and she's with Chekhov and they're looking for the nuclear vessels? Or Star Trek...
Nuclear vessels.
Yeah, or Star Trek 6 where the undiscovered country where they gotta go save Kirk and Spock, and she speaks broken Klingon to a couple of real dumb Klingons. It's the best.
Pretty good scenes.
Nichelle Nichols was really good.
She was a bad mofo. Talking about Nichelle Nichols. So a little Star Trek news there right at the tail end of Orville being cool. Some good science fiction right there for you. What else in the news? This is double science fiction. Everything Everywhere All at Once just became A24's first movie to hit 100 million at the box office. That's pretty interesting news, especially for a small, scrappy distribution company like A24.
Yeah.
It's been A24's highest grossing film. Like that's pretty awesome.
That's even better, knowing that while people could go purchase it on home video right now, they're still going to the theater, and the home video version advertises an extra 10 minutes of film, which they have been talking about bringing to a theatrical release of it.
Oh, so, I would go see that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, so you could see the extra portion of the movie in the theater. 10 minutes can be
a long time. Yeah, it's a lot of movie. But, really interesting because Hereditary was, I think before, that was their previous record holder, which did 80 million worldwide. And this one's just stomped that one by about 20 million. So pretty cool there. Just the power of a good film, just a good movie is that didn't need to have Tom Cruise in it. It didn't need to have, MCU attached. It didn't need to have all this stuff, but it's still doing great because it's a really, really good movie.
Every movie could use Tom Cruise in it.
Well. Yeah,
dude, I think Tom Cruise is rad as an actor.
I mean, yes. I don't think every movie needs Tom Cruise in it.
Just imagine Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise in every movie.
Yeah, that's not as a dystopian
Ethan
world
whatever.
I don't want to be in. Yeah, no, I'm good. I like Tom Cruise, like, a good seasoning salt, just a little bit, just a little pinch here and there.
Here's some Jake's takes.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, that's going to be a whole episode of like what kind of world would it be like if Jake got to put Tom Cruise in every movie?
Yeah, there would be more stunts.
That would definitely be more stunts. There would be more short leading men, I guess, because everybody would have to be shorter than Tom Cruise. That's kind of like his thing. He has big time short man syndrome. A lot of Apple boxes. Like Apple box sales would go through the roof on set. Everybody be standing on an Apple box.
So people like short people. That's why I don't.
No, they don't. Nobody.
That's why
likes
no
short
one
people.
likes me, because I'm massive. But people like short people. Him and Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. has to wear padded shoes when he's on movies, so he's taller than the female leads. That's why.
Why does everybody have to be taller? Why can't we just accept short people?
That's why old Gwen, what's her name? She puts weird things in herself and then sells her scent. The actress that played Pepper Potts? Her name, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, okay.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
What does she sell in a bottle? What?
Yeah, you don't want to know. She takes her shoes off, and Robert Downey Jr. is wearing platform shoes so that he can be taller, because they don't want Tony Stark being shorter than Pepper Potts.
Got it.
So she's barefoot. He's on platforms, being Prince.
What a little Fauntleroy.
People like Prince. He's short.
Well, he's also massively talented, which certainly helps. In other news, The Sandman approaches.
Oh yeah, trailer came out. I didn't get to watch it. I really wanted
Yeah,
to.
more news, more bits, more pieces, more trailers. I'm kind of avoiding watching any trailers. I just want to just watch the series. I'm a fan of the graphic novel. I've listened to the audiobooks. I'm almost done with the audiobook. There's two big monstrous parts of it. I'm in the second one. But I could not be more excited about this show. Neil Gaiman is on board as, like a writer producer. A lot of people are up in arms about like gender flipped characters and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, just give it a chance, because Neil Gaiman is good at what he does. And if he's got a hand in it, I trust him to make it good. A lot of people were really pissed off that, because John Constantine is a character. Because a lot of people forget or that aren't familiar with Sandman. Sandman's a DC character. Like Dream is a DC character. That Sandman graphic novel came out in DC Comics, and
Was
so
it DC or Wildstorm?
I'm pretty sure it's DC because Batman's in it. And
but Constantine
was in it.
Constantine wasn't DC until recently. Constantine was a Vertigo comic, and it wasn't.
Maybe it was Vertigo.
DC,
Maybe the reissue I watched was or read.
DC absorbed Vertigo and Wildstorm into like a singular DC, so they brought in characters like Constantine and the Wildcats.
Well, there's like a Gotham there's a whole chapter that takes place with like a Batman villain and stuff in the so I guess it was Vertigo Comics,
Yeah,
but
it must be
it's
recent,
weird how
yeah.
there's DC people in here. Lucifer Morningstar is in this iteration of Sandman. But anyway, he's a comic book character, and he's getting a lot of flack for not using John Constantine in the show. He used Joanna Constantine, who's a character he created, who's like a descendant of John Constantine. And I know everybody's making the stink face just like you did. But his reasoning was like, look, I don't have as much like licensing control over the John Constantine character, but this is my character, and I want to use this in my show the way I want to use it.
But Constantine exists in the CW stuff, and if they have the live action and it's all going to be integrated, why not just bring in the CW
They're trying,
Constantine?
That's why they don't want to have it integrated like that. They want the story to stand alone as its own, and I'm here for it. I don't want the show to even get remotely close to integrating with anything CW.
That's fine, but the Arrowverse has worked for years and years, and it keeps people intrigued.
But it's so cringy.
Yeah, it's CW still, but but you have.
I don't want that.
You have Arrow and Flash. Flash is still massively popular.
Well, in season 9, this is the last season. They're pulling the plug after the season.
But
Thank God.
Arrow and Flash. You got what's her name that has the animal powers, and I can't remember her name right now. They brought in Hawk people. You got
the Hawk people stuff. It looks so stupid.
You got
the Legends of Tomorrow. Can't forget how awesome that
Lucifer.
is.
Well, yeah, you got the Atom.
That show's so stupid.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff. They could have used the Constantine actor, because they brought Constantine guy back in for Legends of Tomorrow, I think.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Because the show got canceled, but they're like, it's too good. So
everybody's like, oh, but Keanu Reeves
Vixen,
is
thanks,
Constantine.
Valentin.
I don't really like Keanu Reeves as Constantine. I like animated Constantine, the one that's in the DC animated movie. And then what's the Justice League Dark animated Constantine. That's my Constantine. He's awesome. Just an angry, bisexual, chain-smoking booze hound that gives no fucks about the heaven or hell or anything in between. Like, he's cool. Like, he's a cool dude. What are you making that face for? You always make that face. Like we're going to get canceled. And if we push the envelope a little bit more, we might actually get popular.
Oh.
So, yeah, imagine that. Vince says, #not my Constantine. Constantine's awesome. And there was all those, everybody's thinking, didn't he have like a relationship with, Shark?
King Shark. Only in that one animated movie.
That was kind of funny. But anyway, looking forward to Sandman. I am really, really pumped about this. So that is coming very soon.
Sea Velvet Santa says they'd rather watch all the CW shows than watch Justice League movie another time.
I disagree.
The Snyder Cut was not bad.
I hard disagree. Why? I wouldn't want to watch one episode of Legends of Tomorrow again. You could sit me for a whole 24 hours watching the Justice League movie back to back, and make me, sit in a room full of arguing Twitch streamers, and I'd choose that over watching an episode of Legends of Tomorrow. That show is just so stupid. It's just like, just thinking about that show makes me. It's so bad.
They did Multiverse first.
Yeah, but so doesn't mean give a pass for making a terrible.
Well, talking about terrible things in comic books, wasn't there a new She-Hulk trailer that was released? Like a full-on She-Hulk
another
trailer.
Cringy garbage show. I'm gonna drink tequila to process this crap. Yeah, the She-Hulk. Everything that keeps coming out about She-Hulk looks so terrible.
Yeah, it looks real bad. But didn't they get Eli Roth to come back to be
which doesn't
Abomination?
Help. Doesn't help. Eli Roth is not exactly, a good actor or a good writer or a good director. Eli Roth. We're talking about the same Eli Roth.
That's a big.
We're talking about the same.
No, not that one. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. I'm thinking like Hostel and
No,
Inglourious
no.
Bastards.
No.
Eli Roth.
Who's the Roth? What's the first name of the Roth I'm thinking of?
I mean, who's in? You taking Tim Roth?
Am I?
Like the British actor?
Yeah.
Okay, Tim Roth rules.
Okay, yeah.
Eli Roth sucks.
He's Abomination. Yeah.
Oh, well, then that's fine. Tim Roth is amazing.
Didn't you watch Hulk? Incredible Hulk?
There's a lot of that I've blocked out. A lot of comic book things that I've just blocked out. And I know that there was a green guy, and he was angry. And the more he got angry, the more invincible he became. I think that was all I took away from that movie. But yeah, anyway, let's see. Velvet Santa says Marvel should take a year off and build anticipation and write halfway decent stories. Probably not going to happen because that means they would have to take a year off from collecting your money, and they're not going to do that. Adam says Comic-Con dropped a ton of Comic-Con, there was so much stuff that happened at Comic-Con. Like, that's a whole episode worth of stuff. And I don't know if I have the wherewithal to unpack it because it's like comics.
Yeah. Velvet Santa brought up a really good point that we need to address. No Meteor Man 2. Where is it? That's what I need. Yeah. When I was a kid, Meteor Man was one of my top movies.
Well, because Robert Townsend's the coolest person on the planet.
Yeah, well, he could touch a book and absorb its knowledge, and then he fought that dude with Jeet Kune Do after touching it. You had friggin'
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle.
Really?
Eddie Griffin. Yeah.
Don Cheadle was in that movie?
Yeah. He was Goldilocks. Yeah,
I need to watch Meteor Man again.
Yeah, Meteor Man's awesome.
Before Don Cheadle was someone whose name people knew.
That's right. He was an up-and-comer.
Oh, yeah.
There he was.
Big time. Cosby was in it when people still liked him. He was the hobo dude, and he got a piece of the meteor, and he used it to change the channels on the TV.
As you should. Furious Apology says Pluto Nash 2. Guys, Pluto Nash is a pretty good movie.
I actually like Pluto Nash.
Same. I saw it in the theater.
I did too.
And I thought everybody was like, Pluto Nash is the dumbest thing ever. And I was like, hey, guys, that wasn't a bad movie, actually. I thought it was kind of fun.
Hold on, it says Meteor Man touched the Kama Sutra in the director's cut.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
Listen, it's Meteor Man is better than Steel.
Oh, I forgot that movie even existed.
Really?
Yes, I did.
I watch it from time to time.
Oh. Ew. Yeah, that whole thing, like, I remember saving up a bunch of money and buying the comic where Superman died, right? And it was a wrapped white plastic comic, and I saved up so much money because the guy at the comic book store, like, joked me into buying it. Like, it was like, oh, Superman's dying. It was a whole big deal, and I spent like $40 on it. My mom was so mad. And
yeah, because it's worthless.
It's worth like nothing. But at the time, it was like, oh my God, I gotta have this. And yeah, my mom like had to take me back to the comic book store because I walked there by myself, spend my own money, and yeah, like yelled at the guy, and he wouldn't give me my money back because I opened the bag and I was like, this is no longer mint in box. You pull back, like fat mouth breathers do. And I got like store credit that I probably never used, but I think I got like some the Marvel Masterpiece like playing cards or something. You
want me to find you an in-bag Superman death comic I can give you?
And then I just remembered like Superboy and Steel and all these other things, and then like Nicolas Cage Superman Then the black suit, like a resurrected Superman. And it was supposed to be played by Nicolas Cage
in the movie.
Yeah. The movie that never came, but yeah. After that whole split, I was like, I'm done. You got me in trouble, Superman. My mom's mad at you because of me, because of you. So you're not my American hero anymore. So anyway, I kind of gave up. So Steel, it just gives me PTSD about it. But anyway, a lot of stuff happened. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a long time. We're back, playing catch up, doing that stuff. Do you have any other news bits before we move on to talk about what's coming out this week?
I don't. No, not movie related.
Well, then let's talk about what's coming out this week, because new movies come out every single week, and it is our duty to tell you what is coming out. There are 4 movies coming out, 3 of them relatively low limited release indie films. One of them we've been waiting for a while, but releasing this week, August 5th, 2022, we've got the new film from director James Morosini, starring Patton Oswalt and James Morosini. It is called I Love My Dad. It is a kind of an estranged father catfishing his son in an attempt to reconnect. Patton Oswalt doing Patton Oswalt style comedy. But it did really well in South by Southwest. A lot of people digging this film. And, I mean, it's Patton Oswalt. He's a really funny dude. So that is getting a wider release this week. Also coming out, Easter Sunday from director Jay Chandrasekhar. It is starring Joe Coy, and it is about a family gathering celebrating on Easter Sunday. It's about a comedy based on Joe Coy's life and experiences and his stand-up comedy. You've got very, very ethnically diverse cast in this movie coming together and doing kind of a family comedy. So that one is coming out. I don't know why this movie about Easter Sunday happened to be coming out in August, but hey, whatever. Also coming out, Bodies from director Helena Rajan. It's about a group of rich 20-somethings planning a hurricane party at a remote family mansion. And then a party game turns deadly in this fresh and funny look at backstabbing fake friends and one party gone very, very wrong. So it's a black comedy, or dark comedy that I don't know if people don't understand these words anymore. But it's a cast of a bunch of people you've never heard of, and also Pete Davidson. So you've probably seen the trailer of Pete Davidson doing Pete Davidson things, and his brand of comedy that I don't understand the appeal that much. I mean, he's a funny dude, but I'm not sure why everybody's so obsessed with Pete Davidson. But they are. So that movie's coming out in wider release. And then the wide release movie of the week that has been being advertised ad nauseum for the past couple of months is director David Leitch's new film, Bullet Train. Bullet Train, of course, starring Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Zoe King. We've got Michael Shannon's in there. Hiroyuki Sanada's in this movie. Kind of a bit of an ensemble cast. Bad Bunny somehow being in this movie and not using his real name. Masaoka, he's in this one. You may remember him from Heroes. Blue Nissan Versa. He's going to be in this movie. The longer trailers I see about this movie, the less I want to see it. Like, I liked the teaser trailers, the extended trailer, not so much. But I do want to see this movie. It does look fun.
Isn't Kick-Ass in that movie too?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Velvet Santa says, I can't wait to watch it on my phone. Cue up the David Lynch clip about watching movies on your cell phone. Never watch a movie on your cell phone. Ever. Don't ever do it. And if you do, don't tell me you did it, because you're going to warrant a tongue lashing.
Tablet minimum.
You need at least 10 inches for maximum pleasure.
Moving on. Vince says that there is a James Bond Fathom event for Dr. No's 60th anniversary. That's exciting. The first Bond, one of the best Bonds, the Sean Connery introduction of being Bond, James Bond.
I thought we canceled Sean Connery because he likes to slap women.
That was a decade ago.
Yeah, but, I mean, he still said it.
Cancel culture.
Gotta slap him around when the
Doesn't
talk
cancel
back.
culture
Give 'em a
usually
little-
forget about it like a couple months in?
I guess if something cool's coming out, you're like, oh yeah, James Bond. But then you forget that he slapped him around.
Yeah, that was before that.
Sass talking ladies.
Dr. No
These
was before
dames.
that.
Pop him in the mouth, and then one on the fanny.
I don't think he said that.
That's what he said in like an interview with like Playboy magazine or something. It was like, or pop them in the mouth if they get acting a fool.
Said it, got called out on it, didn't back down. Is what Vince says. Yeah, it's like
Barbara Walters. That's what it was.
Very Sean Connery thing to do. Be like, yeah. So.
But I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I am a firm believer of separating the art from the artist. But
I mean, there's a
throwing it out
reason
there.
that you haven't ever seen the press events from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, because there's no way that you could put Sean Connery and Harrison Ford in a room.
Two
and
of the grumpiest dudes in Hollywood.
Have an interviewer ask them anything, because they would just like burn laser holes in them.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah, and be like that. That's the interview, and then Harrison Ford's just nodding.
Yeah,
and
Harrison
then,
Ford's like,
yeah.
yeah.
But Bullet Train coming out in theaters this weekend. You can check it out. Those are your offerings. But there are other films in theaters that I saw, and you can check out as well. So I'm going to start with Minions: Rise of Gru. And we'll move forward from that. Dina on YouTube says, seriously, I am always fighting for my life on art versus artist convos. Well, it's really hard. And just to side rail onto that topic, one of the things that not to quote Bill Burr of all very problematic comedians in the world, but people exist in a time, and people have to understand that, it's real easy for us to sit here in 2022 and go, well, if I lived back in 1894, I'd be one of the good ones. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. And you'd be a jerk too, because you're a jerk, kind of a jerk now. You're doing jerky 2022 things, and you probably go back and do jerky 1800 things, because that's just kind of how people tend to be. We go with the flow. We go with what's cool. You remember the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? That was a time where all of us were dumping fucking ice on our head, and we thought it was fun. And now we look back and go, I wouldn't do that again. But when these artist conversations, a lot of the time, well, we didn't know a lot about the artists back then. We didn't have social media. We didn't have all this meta knowledge. And oh man, Night Owlishly redeemed. Got to drink some tequila.
Why didn't we get a notification?
I don't know. That's why we need a mod here, like Vince, who can tell us these things. But we have so much access to information now, so it's harder to separate those things because they're so ingrained in their personal life. But when we find out, personal things about artists that, like the Beatles or Elvis, or if Michelangelo, if we knew what all the crazy shit he probably did, we wouldn't be thinking his paintings were so cool. But that's just the way art is. We have to be able to separate, because most of the time, really cool stuff is made by really troubled people, and you don't like go, oh, he was such a nice, like, adjusted person that painted, Salvador Dali was just like a guy that just liked to hang out and, have a donut in the morning and read the paper. No, it's not who these people are. And that's, we tend to focus on the celebrity of it, and that's one of the reasons I hate celebrity so much.
Wax my mustache out to be like Dolly.
Yeah, you do. That'd be awesome. Dina says we can bring forward the artists who were not lauded at the time, so we can talk about the big stuff, but supplement with the marginalized. Yes, 100%. It's a long conversation, or we can acknowledge they sucked and did cool stuff. That's where it needs to be, is because everybody's got some stuff that they're not proud of, and the moment you start pulling everything under a microscope, everybody's got to be a dirtbag at some point in their life. So anyway, yeah, not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but anyway, Minions: Rise of Gru. Speaking of,
it's like, yeah, what's that have to do with Minions? Like the guy that has all the.
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
He's a villain. Gru did some dastardly crap when he was a kid. But we still love him, We separate. He's got a good heart, but he kicks babies and steals ice cream and stuff like that. Yeah, he does all the stuff in this movie. He's a little prick, and but he's the character of Despicable Me. He's Gru. He is a bad guy, even though they turn him into a good guy, because everybody's got to be a good guy somehow. Vince says, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't turn a blind eye or 100% cancel someone, but I bring him action. Yes, I mean, and that's good. You shouldn't give people just a free pass, but you should be able to appreciate good art and then go, well, that guy sucks. But, man, this is a cool book, and I'm going to enjoy this book, and especially if they're dead, because, it's not like they're getting your money. And maybe their kids are good people. Who knows? Let them succeed. No sense to punish the sins of the father, or whatever the old phrase goes. Anyway, Minions was stupid. So let's just get back to the point. This movie was 1 hour and 27 minutes of loud noises and gibberish, because the Minions speak this weird sort of hybrid of Pig Latin, Spanish, and French. And a couple of times it's cute. There are moments in this film that are funny. I don't advise letting kids watch this movie, because your kid's gonna grow up and be a jerk. I think, the more of this unintelligible babble that we put in front of tiny screens, in front of our tiny humans, tiny faces, and go, here, kid, don't make noise, the grown-ups are talking, put this in your face, and it's just like and fireballs and like trash cans and all this kind of stuff. It's like, no wonder we're society is crumbling, is because this is how we're like, yeah, just view this, you'll be fine. And there's no values to be learned. There's no sort of evolution of these characters. There's no real story to be told. It's just a child grew and is Minions, because Minions are popular and we give them money, and they run around doing Minions things, and all of them shows their butt at least once, and they like, and I guess people laugh at it, and it keeps going ad nauseum for 1 hour and 27 minutes. Vince asks, was my theater full of kids? There were a lot of kids in there, yes, because this is how we babysit now. We go, hey, here's an animated movie that my kid will want to see, and we'll buy the toys, and it's funny, and they'll shut up and stop bothering me for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And we take them to see these movies, and yes, kids love it. They love this stuff just like they love ice cream. But does it mean you should give them ice cream all the freaking time? No, you can't. They have to eat vegetables too. And I feel like we don't give our kids the vegetable equivalent of media enough. We just give them all the sugar and ice cream of media, and I think that's a very unhealthy thing, because media consumption is one of the most shape-shifting elements a growing child has for becoming a grown person, health and mental health. And if we keep pumping them so full of an unintelligible garbage, they're going to turn into little assholes. And I get so tired of adults making the argument, but it's made for kids. And it's like, well, yeah, so is Ovaltine, and it's got vitamins and minerals, and it's good for you, and it kind of tastes like chocolate, and
where does one even buy Ovaltine?
They don't anymore, because kids only want chocolate, and it's our fault that their teeth are falling out.
No,
they don't eat their vegetables.
No, it's Ovaltine's fault for giving out Dakota rings and it just being an ad for Ovaltine.
I love it when he gets so mad that he discovers it's a commercial.
Drink
little Ralphie.
more.
He's like, it's a commercial. But let's see. Velvet Santa asks, which is more annoying franchise at this point, Star Wars or Minions?
Star Wars.
Yeah, I have to say Star Wars, just because of the oversaturation of it all. Vince says, sounds like Cousin It was in the movie. Yeah, they're all super Cousin It. Velvet Santa says, Tommy, which is his son, is not a fan of movies right now, mostly music videos and the Wiggles for us. Let's see. Velvet Santa, Tommy's favorite video is Call Me Al. So he's a Paul Simon fan? Is that who does with the music video that has Chevy Chase in it? You can call me out. Yeah, that movie, that song, Night Owlishly says, I think it's about balance.
Fletch Chevy Chase?
Yes, Fletch Chevy Chase. Night Owlishly says, I think it's about balance. We watch high-quality shows, but also others. We eat vegetables and sometimes gets Brahms. That's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Minions is a treat. It's a little treat. It's like catnip. You don't feed your cat exclusively catnip because it's they like it so much. You just pepper it in. But I feel like we're sliding into this sort of format that we know makes money, and so we're going all sugar, we're going all treats, and I don't think that's a good idea. Balance is key, and so this movie was and I've seen some of the other films, like Despicable Me was actually pretty good, but yeah, this one, it was a movie to watch, and it's gonna take a lot of money and a lot of your money, and kids are gonna see it, and they're gonna hopefully not pull their pants down and speak gibberish, because that's what these movies are teaching them to do. And this movie was very anal. Like, there was a lot of butt-centric stuff in this movie, and it was very... Don't eyeball me! I didn't make the movie! I'm just telling you that there was a lot of butts, and naked butts. And I'm just like, okay, weird. Look at this little trailer. Like, in the clip on my screen, there's a dude with his butt out. And
that's just the part you focused on, dog.
No, that's right there. Like, the first thing you click a Minions, it's like it's a butt, and I'm like, just butts everywhere. Like, it's freaking weird, man.
Notepad in the movie, and you're like, oh, another tally for naked butts.
Naked butts. Man. Vince says there are focus groups that show kids love butt stuff. These new kids, it's no wonder that kids in 2021 are so obsessed with butt stuff. It's because we've been showing them Minions for 10 years.
You as the Leonardo DiCaprio meme in the theater?
Yes,
yeah.
Butt stuff.
Can we move on? Can we move on?
Why do you get so uncomfortable around butts? You want to talk about it? Like, is there some stuff we need to open up in Jake's tapes?
No.
Let me get out my notepad here.
Your butt tally chart?
Yeah. It says here, Jake gets very uncomfortable at the mention of heinies. And tell me about your childhood and heinies.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dina says kids have always been into butts. I knew it was all downhill when the poo emojis became all the rage. Yes, this is true.
Especially once they're voiced by Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yeah. That was a good poop emoji. Where's our emojis? They're back here somewhere.
Oh, are my emojis?
They're somewhere back here.
My emoji movie emoji?
Yeah, they're somewhere up here. I got you those for Christmas one year. Anyway, that's out. Let's talk about the good movie that I saw. And it was Nope, the new film, of course, from director Jordan Peele. This movie, a bit Shyamalan-y, early Shyamalan-y, as people will say, no, Jordan Peele is such an amazing, perfect director, and he is the best horror director to ever grace the genre, which Jordan Peele will even stop you, as he did in one interview panel. And, someone was just like, dude, don't diss John Carpenter like that. He's, and Jordan Peele's like, dude, there are kings above me.
Jordan Peele can't play the keyboard to make the soundtrack for his own movie like John Carpenter does.
And Jordan Peele, this movie is so much homage. This movie is homage to a slew of horror classics before it, and not even horror, like Jaws and E.T. There are straight shots that were borrowed from Jaws and E.T. and recreated to fit in this film, and they're beautiful.
Is that a bearded red face, or
I'm not sure what that
is. That a
is.
7-Up cap?
Oh, that's the cool button. They added cool glasses to our button. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Extra cool.
Let's see. Velvet Santa says he's like the Chris Nolan of horror right now. Dina says I haven't seen it yet, but no, you do. No spoilers, but please this time be vague. In terms of horror, Adam says yes. Jaws and E.T. saw that too. Did you hear Nope is an anagram? So Dina, the spoiler free of this movie is that there are no spoilers to be had. There's no MacGuffin in this movie. Even the poster, it's aliens. From the moment you sit down, from the moment in the trailer, from the poster, it's aliens. And the movie's not about a reveal. The movie is about a journey of dealing with this. And there's a lot of allegory and a lot of really cool stuff that Jordan Peele's playing with the characters on screen. Now, my big complaint about these characters, they don't evolve very much in the movie. They kind of exist in the movie to just sort of push the thematic elements of this film along, but you have, Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya who lead this film of trying to monetize like this phenomena that's happening in their ranch. And as Adam says, I thought the trailer ruined it, and it did to a point. But when you're watching the movie, it unloads on that like in the first 15 minutes. Like you're like, yeah, there's some extraterrestrial shit going on, and
not of planet Earth, Vince says.
Yes,
N-O-P-E.
not of planet Earth, and N-O-P-E. Bloop. Flipping over. Adam says it didn't matter in the end, which is true, but the thing that I did not like about it is, like I said, the lack of character development. You had Michael Wincott's character, who I would have loved to see more. Daniel and Kiki's characters, the evolution of their relationship. Where did it go from here? Like, what did they take away from this experience? You don't get any of that stuff. Steven Yeun's character, you kind of see what happens to him, but you don't see any evolution of what these characters are doing. But it's kind of okay because the ride is so much fun. Like there is just a lot of stuff to unpack. There's all these weird flashbacks that start to slowly make sense. There's a lot of debate about what the shoe's about, and if you're kind of paying attention, it's about it's foreshadowing, really, if you pay attention to the movie, and the theme of bad miracles, and and misdirection, and what you're focusing on, and all these kind of things in the midst of tragedy and chaos, and it just shows how clever Jordan Peele is in his this is not a horror movie, and even though it is classified as a horror movie, it's the genres that IMDb nailed to it are horror, mystery, sci-fi. There are gory elements, there are horror elements, but I would not. At the end of the when the credits rolled, wasn't a horror movie to me, but there was horror elements for certain, and it was just an interesting ride, an interesting story in sci-fi that I just hadn't seen in a while, and but. It's very strange because while it's not doing anything new, it's doing all of this old stuff in a new way, and I thought that was pretty cool. There were some questions I had at the end, but let's see. Velvet Santa says, was there any sense of wonder to it? Yeah, the whole movie is essentially about a sense of wonder and capturing it. I mean, that's what this movie's about. It's really about how do you tame it? How do you deal with it? How do you process it? And how do you, not just personally deal with it, but how do you make it your own? How do you conquer it? And it's pretty interesting way of like Adam just said, mixing all these genres together into a pretty interesting just movie. It's a good movie. And I haven't said that in a while, like where it's a movie. You go in and it's not about the stars. It's not about getting scared. It's not about like a blockbuster. It's not about the MacGuffin. It's not about the special effects. It's just like having a good time in the theater, watching the story unfold. And that's cool. It's a lot of fun. Like you go back, just like I mentioned Jaws and E.T., you go back and these movies aren't like over the top like spectacles. They're just really good movies. Like E.T. wasn't like a science fiction like insane, like look at all the special effects, look at all these crazy celebrities, but it's just a good story. And Jaws, again, same thing. The freaking shark didn't even work half the time. And but Bruce the shark. But it just completely captured the world. And Adam says filmed in IMAX, worth the $20 in his opinion. I would have loved to see it in IMAX. Velvet Santa says, well, expectations should be fairly tame, so I may actually enjoy it. Yes. Dina says, thinks you have time tomorrow. Definitely go see it. Sounds like it's maybe above Us. Personally, yes. I enjoyed it a little more than Us, mainly because I thought Us was trying a little too hard. And I'm just going to leave that there. That's a whole nother conversation that we don't have time for.
You liked it when you reviewed?
Oh, I did like it. But I'm saying, do I like it more than Nope? No, I think Nope is better than Us.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought Us was a very competent film. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I think Nope is a better movie.
Us was the one that had all the VHS tapes and stuff in the back of other horror movies.
Yeah. And the copy clones of the family, and it was a good. So there you go. Nope, it's in theaters. I highly recommend you see this. It's not scary. It's not it's not a brutal, gruesome horror movie. It's I think Vince just nailed it. He goes, I thought it was a good Twilight Zone movie. 100%, which makes sense why Jordan Peele was like supposed to be hosting the Twilight Zone show there for a hot minute. I don't know what happened to that, but this was very much a Twilight Zone movie, and I'm here for it. I'd love to see another movie like this from Jordan Peele, because I think he knocked this one out of the park. So there you go. Nope. Now let's talk about the box office. It's about that time where I turn things over to Jake. We're going to give you the box office roundup for last weekend, and we give you domestic numbers only because that's what the studios pay attention to. They really don't care what money comes in overseas. They want American dollars. And if it does...
Bring it back.
That's right. Lettuce, baby, bread.
Dead presidents.
Yeah, see? That's the movie. This is the movie producers coming in and getting those greenbacks. But we give you the top 10 in the United States, and take it away, Jake. Here we go.
All right. On its first week, coming in at number 10, Vengeance brought in $1.75 million, only available in just shy of 1,000 theaters. So not terrible for a film that no one's seen or heard about, coming from Focus Features, and bringing in almost $1.75 million.
Yeah. Not
in
bad.
1,000 theaters, not bad. Holding strong at number 9 in its 8th week of release, Jurassic World Dominion, because people sometimes just still need to go to the box office. Domestic total is now $370 million, with its international take at $573, bringing it to $942.5 million.
Almost in the billion club.
Just shy of that $1 billion.
I hope it doesn't make it, because it does not deserve
That'd
it.
be so funny. Number 8, also holding at number 8 in its 6th week of release, Black Phone. So there is another horror option out there for you. I think I
did review that, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, when I was absent. 6th week of release, brought in $2.5 million this last weekend, for a total of $83.1 million, taking at the box office domestic. Coming in at number 7, Elvis, in its 6th week of release. Hard to think it's already been out for 6 weeks.
I know.
I feel like not all of that was expanded release. $5.74 million, available in just under 3,000 theaters. Its domestic total is now $129 million, with an international take of 106. So it's at just over $250 million for its worldwide
I think
take.
that's about what they expected. It's it's not blowing any records out of the water.
Yeah, but for a biopic
yeah.
about a musician that most people in the current generation probably don't care about. A movie that's probably 10 years too late, because there was that Elvis resurgence in popularity where you'd buy bags and shirts and hear it on every commercial and everything.
Well, and it was a troubled production anyway. It took a long time to get this movie made. So,
But apparently it's good.
yeah.
Coming in at number 6, dropping 2 spots, Where the Crawdads Sing. $7.5 million. It's in 3,500 theaters. In its 3rd week of release, is totaled at only $53.5 million.
Not as good as I think they were hoping, but
That one, actually, I have seen trailers for, so you got to think they had a advertising budget on that. So I wonder how much the movie,
I mean, it was Sony.
if it's made, has made anything. Number 5, staying at number 5, Top Gun Maverick, keeping the blockbusters going, brought another $8.5 million. It remains in 3,000 theaters in its 10th week of release.
10 weeks, man. Do you think that this is going to be the last weekend of Top Gun?
I hope not. Top Gun rules.
Man.
It was such a good movie. $650 million is its domestic total. It's at $1.32 billion worldwide.
That's wild.
bringing in the big dollars for Tom Cruise.
I mean,
who, as you know, I feel like should
biggest-
be in just all of the movies.
Biggest box office he's ever had, actually.
That's fine. Maverick's a good movie. Could have done without with less Miles Teller, but whatever. Number 4, dropping down a spot, your movie that you love so much, Minions:
Love
Rise
it.
of Gru.
Get me more Minions, please.
Still managed to bring in just shy of $11 million this weekend in its 5th week of release for a domestic total of $320.5 million. So $320 million ain't bad domestic for a kid's movie. Killing it.
A lot of cash.
Number 3, Thor: Love and Thunder. Still in there, $13.1 million this weekend. That's a 42% drop. But it didn't stop it from making $301 million domestic, another $362 million worldwide. So now its full global total is at $663.6 million.
God, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Well, if it helps, it's got nothing but reviews, and they've actually written off as a failure in the eyes of Disney.
Which is, how insane is this? And we've talked about this on the show where Disney's like, well, if it's not $1 billion, it's not worth our trouble.
Yeah, but at least they realize that people are going because they feel like they have to go, not because they want to see the movie or feel like it has merit. No one's like watching that movie like, have you seen this movie? You got to go see it. It'll change your life. People are like, you know how Marvel, it's all connected. Well, you have to watch it because there's things.
Contractually obligated to watch it.
Yeah, number 2 in its 2nd week of release, Nope brought in $18.6 million this last weekend. It's in 3,800 theaters, but that brings its domestic total to 80.6.
And it did not get an international release yet. So, but that was a pretty hefty drop, though. 58% drop from last week. That's a significant.
But with this, I mean, I know you in the chat all said that it is not horror, but with the idea that most people have that it is horror, 80 million
is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Black Phone is just now hitting 83 in 6 weeks of release.
With
so,
a lot less advertising.
I mean, Nope had a humongous opening for a quote-unquote horror film.
But I wonder how much of that has been advertising stuff, because you see Nope ads
everywhere.
constantly.
Yeah.
And then number 1 coming in, opening at the number 1 spot in its first week, bringing in $23 million. The movie that I was unable to see because I was working on my car. I am sorry. I will try to do that this week. DC League of Super Pets, with 2 of your favorite up-and-comers that are always teaming up, making it double the pleasure, double the fun, double mint gum for you. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart. Winning combo. It also has Keanu Reeves.
I don't care. Just Rock and Kevin Hart. That's just a combo I'm tired of, y'all. I don't. Is Kevin Hart gonna be in Black Adam? It's gonna be like a scrappy reporter that's friends with the Black Adam.
That would be fun.
God. Ugh. But not a huge opening. I think that it is the number 1 movie in America. But it's 23 million. It's like. Pfft, piddly crap. But
Vince says that there's a supposed to be a cut of the new Top Gun where Maverick dies.
It'll probably be on the bonus features. Dina, I'm glad Dina said this in the comments. She said, I literally had no idea about this movie until it was advertised for the drive-in, which is closing. Yes, our 112 drive-in. I think they said only 13 more weeks or 12 more weeks.
No, 13 more showings, which is spread over 4 weeks.
Oh, God, only 4 more weeks?
Yep.
Why aren't they going all the way to October like they normally do?
Yeah, we won't.
That's not cool, dude.
We will not get to have our classic movies in the fall weather.
God, that's my favorite time. No. I got to do a pop-up. I got to just be like, hey.
Let's go chain ourselves to the drive-in.
Actually, I'm going to call the guy that bought it. And I'm going to be like, hey, dog, heard you liked movies. Put your passion where your like hands are or whatever needs to be said. You can't put his money where his mouth is, but
Put your dick where your butt is.
yeah, dude, because kids like butts.
Yeah.
And like, let's do some programming before you tear it down in October. Let me run this thing for like 3 weeks.
Let's rent a DeLorean. Let's dress like Doc Brown from Back to the Future Part 3 at the beginning. 1950s Doc Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
that'd
just
be good.
chain ourselves to the theater. Don't let them take it from us.
Yeah.
Oh, Vince said it's not a cut. It's a theory. I see. About Maverick dying.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah. But anyway, if you live in the Northwest Arkansas area, which we record, this is where our studio's based out of, our 112 drive-in, go check it out. It is the last time you'll ever get to check it out, and could be the last time you ever get to experience the magic of a drive-in.
That's true, because the next closest ones are Dallas. Is there one closer? Is there one in Tulsa? Yeah, who wants to go to Tulsa? It has the river and it smells real bad. Who wants to go to Dallas? People drive 90 miles an hour and the town dies at 8:30 p.m.
And Velvet said there's one in Marshall, wherever that is.
I think that's Texas too. Dina said, let her know when you go because you got the good speaker. That's true.
I always go hard at the drive-in.
You don't have to leave your car running because you got the boom box.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I bring my own drive-in speaker box.
The boom box with the boom box.
So, yeah, I'm going to try. I've already talked to the guy that bought that piece of property, and I want to get some stuff from the snack bar to put here in the studio. So
Dina says the proposed new apartment complex, because here in a college town we have to bulldoze everything historic to make room for Texas kids. She said the new thing has a proposed drive-in. It's a screen on the side of one of the apartments kicked to the outskirts in the marshy area
with
next
maybe
to the
like
auto
20
park.
Room for 20 cars.
So it's going to be marshy. There's going to be mosquitoes that just bite the hell out of you. It's going to be projected on the side of a building. It's going to be trash, and there's going to be some Dallas college kid hanging out the window and be like, hey, spoiler alert, and then just give it away because he's watched the movie 4 times because it's projected against his window.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good time.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, all right, guys, that's it. We're out of time. I'm going to have to see what this clip is, and we're going to get out of here. Going to upload this podcast to wherever you download your podcast, so you could take the audio version of this on the go, or you can watch it on a tiny screen like Velvet Santa likes to watch his movies on the phone. You can check us out. You can subscribe to our Facebook, our Twitch, or our YouTube channel. You can catch us every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can be a part of this chat here.
Ooh.
And
or you can be in our Discord.
That's right. Yes.
Where I think Vince is absolutely the most active person, and I've attempted to be to an extent. I quit getting notifications. I guess no one talks in there.
No, I mean
Nolan's boy.
Noxolid is in there.
Yeah.
Vince is in there.
Yeah, Vince talks.
Yeah, we got some people in there.
He's gonna put the clips that he's making in the Discord. So.
Yeah, where's our freaking Discord link? I'm so bad about it. Yeah, it'll be in the link somewhere. So yeah, get in our Discord. It's the Drive-In Speaker Box. You can chat with us while we're not here. And I meant to have that link at the ready. And just
yeah, I think I'm gonna reset up some game streaming at my apartment or something. Maybe we can start playing Sea of Thieves or something like that again. So there'll be more opportunities. I can post about that in the Discord too.
Well, all right, guys. There it is, Vince, with the Discord link. You can keep up with us and chat with us and all that fun stuff when we're not on the air. So anyway, well, we're out of here. I am the Boom Operator.
I'm the Grip.
And we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. It's been a time, right? Has it been a time?
As you leave the theater,
Such
folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.